Hello everybody, my name is Karamjit. I'd like to welcome you to another week of the Week in Technology. With me is my co-host Aisha Mustafa. How are you doing, Aisha?
I'm good, thanks.
Excellent, okay. We're going to start off this week again quickly with the cover story for the week, and actually we're going to spend a whole lot of time on the cover story itself because it's about Cyberjaya and it's an area and it's a subject, which is dear to my heart. But before we do that, I will just give you a sneak preview of the cover, which is called Transforming Cyberjaya. And no, it's not about MDEC, but another equally important party that's helping to drive the development and progression of Cyberjaya. Yep. But before that, Aisha, you were in, let me see, where were you? You were in Vienna? No, Geneva? No, you were in Penang. You were in Penang for the IP, for the USM organized conference on technology transfer, right? And you wrote a little bit about that in this week's issue of The Edge, but share with our readers about the episode or your experience there.
It's a workshop about how to transfer technology, and I think it's definitely a topic that a lot of people tend to look over because of the lack of technology transfer nowadays in Malaysia. So people are not really bothered to talk about it. But it was really interesting because one of the speakers, which is he specializes in tech transfer. He's based in the US, and he's worked with the National Institute of Health and a couple of big organizations in the US. And then he did a presentation on our 9th Malaysia plan and how the things that we have done wrong actually. And he says that one of the things that has because we always focus on foreign direct investment. We want the HPs and the Googles of the world to come invest here, but
OPH, other people's money. OPM, sorry.
OPMs, other people's money. But essentially, it hasn't. I mean, the skills transfer hasn't really happened that much. I mean, it's provided jobs, but until today we don't have a global brand for from Malaysia. So he says that the mistake that we
do have a few actually, but not in the space of technology. You mean
And he says that for the 10th Malaysia plan, what they should really emphasize is strengthening our research institute and also the universities, because it's about time that we collaborate between each other. So, because we've been talking about, foreign tech transfer for years, for decades, and about how, we're going to bring all these big technologies and stuff. But the thing is, he says it's about time that we start working among ourselves. And that is going to be, he feels that is going to make a big difference for our economy, or at least in the tech industry, for the 10th Malaysia plan. So, that was...
He doesn't see enough of
he definitely doesn't see enough. I mean, he's... even though he's based in the US, I think he stayed in Malaysia when he was younger. I think his name is Rohit. I don't remember his last name, but so that was one of the highlights of the workshop itself.
What was the response to his thought that we need to work a bit closer together, our institutions?
I think it was definitely agreed upon. I mean, received warmly by the audience, because
our audience always receives anything warmly. We're so dead polite.
No. It's because there was an interesting that didn't happen actually during one of the sessions, but I will save that for behind talk after this. Because I think it's also because a lot of them were academics and also researchers. So that would be they agree with it because that is their part to play.
Exactly.
But right now, whether they know how to play that part, that's a different story altogether.
Okay, all right, interesting. I mean, I'll just share an anecdote. I met a gentleman last week for breakfast, and he was sharing how the VC of one of the public universities was saying that the gentleman who is running their innovation and commercialization unit has been there for so long, and he's so entrenched that the VC cannot remove him. And this guy is carrying on business as usual, thinking what he's doing is right. And it's astounding to me, that this type of things, situations still happen and are happening till today. And even though everybody knows what needs to be done, in terms of getting technology transfer on the right track. It's just crazy. It's just insane. But now let's switch back to transforming Cyberjaya. And who is the party that's helping MDEC do it? None other than the master developer Cyberview, Sdn Bhd. The CEO now is Dato' Reza Rafiq. really nice guy, very dynamic, and it's an example where the government puts the right people, in the right job. You can work marvels, you can work wonders. But anyway, so Reza is I think he's doing a great job. Very nice, humble, but behind the scenes dynamic guy. And basically he was with Cyberview from the beginning in '96 when it was launched, and he said the launch of the MSc by Mahathir, Dr. Mahathir back then, and I was there too. So in fact I've got a picture of me next to the what do you call that time capsule, that spaceship looking thingy, which is somewhere in the ground, somewhere in Cyberjaya now. But anyway, that aside, they are now working on they already been working on transforming Cyberjaya since 2004. He was with MDEC, he was with Cyberview, and then when they had a restructuring problem with financing with the early shareholders, Setia Haruman among them, he was seconded to MDEC to help MDEC improve its business plan. And in 2004, the Ministry of Finance asked him to relook at Cyberjaya and what's wrong with the business plan, the business model for Cyberjaya, why wasn't it working? In the sense that there were very few local companies, in Cyberjaya. So, and he said that that was the subject of his master's, thesis, which is, if I was running Cyberjaya, what would I do? So he came up with a business plan. They gave him a month off work, and he worked on a business plan, gave it to them, and they said, okay, great, you're running it. So he's been seconded since then, from 2004 to Cyberview to run the show.
But what was wrong? Why would they?
What was wrong? That he said in essence it was a pure property play. So when it's a pure property play, all you're looking at is maximizing rental and just selling the land to somebody, and letting them worry about everything else. But he said you need to look at Cyberjaya as a holistic ecosystem, and it's a key part of Malaysia getting ICT to be an economic pillar of the country, right? So Cyberjaya was extremely important. So he looked at it that way, and he says, hey, listen, we got to add value to the whole environment of Cyberjaya. And we have to look at property as a secondary item. We got to make sure that companies here want to live, work, play, and stay in Cyberjaya, which is what you see a lot of the brands now for Cyberjaya, live, work, play, Cyberjaya. So that's what he's been trying to do since 2004. And there's a whole lot of things he did. First of all, what they did was they also set up the SME Technopreneur Center, which was for SMEs, okay? They got this space there, so SMEs only need to come in. They don't have to worry about services because and parking. Office services are provided for them, so they just worry about being innovative, being nimble and trying to work on something crazy, right? And then that worked really well. They set up a second Technopreneur Center with bigger space. So the idea is you graduate from the smaller space, per company to a bigger space, and then from there you move out into Cyberjaya itself. And because you've already built a relationship with Cyberview, you will say, hey, we want to buy land from you, and you build the property for us, the office we want to have. So that's what they've done. It's really fascinating. There's a lot more to talk about, but I'm seeing my camera crew now, sweating already. So what we're going to do, because this is really interesting and important, we're going to carry on with this next week to talk a little bit more about what they've done, because I think it's really important and they deserve a lot of credit for it. But so now hang on for next week. And so with that, we're going to end also. But I'll leave you one snippet about Cyberjaya, which is that the HP, that is Hewlett Packard, which is building a huge campus there, or actually Cyberview is building it for them. It's going to be the first totally green, building and an office complex in Cyberjaya. The money for that was given by the federal government to them, and this is one of their big impact projects. And guess what? It was 200 million ringgit that the government gave to Cyberview to help, get HP there. So it's 2 phases. I think all in HP has like over about 50 acres. Phase 1 is like almost 20 acres, right? They're building even residential accommodations for HP staff. There's going to be some R&D work going on there. I don't exactly know what are the KPIs for Hewlett Packard, but MDEC is in charge of that. And HP has to deliver on certain KPIs because it's not going to be a free ride for them. So that snippet you only get on the show. That's why it's worth your while to watch the show every week. And we'll leave you hanging on your Twitter hooks for you to catch the show again next week. We're going to wrap up now. Thanks for watching the show. Have a great and productive week ahead with technology, and we'll see you next week.